So a lot of what I'm going to share with you now, some of you have heard it before. I'm going to share it with you again. And it's a net result of, we just took 3 days sitting on a boat in San Diego as a family because we barely ever talked to each other. And on those 3 days, I probably spent, how much of it working? Over 99%. Well, it was actually, I cut way back. It was probably about 50% of the time. And I'm okay with that. I like working. And my family likes the results of that work. And they believe in Dad. But a lot of that time I spent just calling agents, asking you lead after lead after lead, what's going on? Not in an accusatorial way, but just to find out, what are you actually doing? And is it increasing your chances of conversion? You're going to get calls from me over the next week or two at weird hours. I will not call you at 2 in the morning, but weird hours. We're going to talk through these one by one. And I notice there are just base behaviors that would help you guys make so much more money and be so much more profitable. So I want you to get your pen out and get ready. Can somebody take that Zillow lead coming in? Thank you. Get ready.
Jonathan.
Yeah.
He's so little there. He turned 16 on the 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 16.
CRM. But because we're preconditioned in our minds to select what we like and what we don't, and what we think we need to hear about and what we don't, that's why we either grow or we don't grow. If we all could approach life every day with a blank slate, and I'm going to repeat this to you, and then I'm going to go into some very specific training. So when I met Annette, I was how old, honey? I was 45. Big difference. So I was 45. She was 12.
Jonathan was born at 53. That's why I said that.
45. And I was very elegant. I always bought my pants and shirts the same one at Costco because I could buy 6 of them at a time. I was very elegant. I drove a Dodge truck with a Hemi muffler on it. It was really loud because I was going through a midlife crisis, and it just makes you feel bigger, you know. So I was one of those guys. And, oh, yeah, I did like I do now. I dyed my hair, but then it wasn't because I was white and looked like I'm 100. It's just because I thought it was cool. It was a triple weave. And, very attractive to ladies. I would also go to a tanning booth, but didn't know how to use one. So I'd always have like white raccoon eyes like this. So, and I worked all the time, so I wasn't very polite. And I drove very hard, and I was extremely demanding. So basically, I was the perfect husband. And, you know, of course, women were just coming from everywhere because I was divorced. And they were like, we love your raccoon eyes. We love your Costco clothes. We love it that you're so considerate and work all the time. We love it that you're demanding. Actually, you're a narcissist, and I've been looking for one. And so women were just lined up. Anyway, so the bottom line is, it's not actually not that far from the truth, other than the women lining up, because that's never happened my whole life. So I met Annette, And after a while, things started to develop a little bit, you know? And I actually took her to Denny's for an ice cream sundae, which was, you had to be special for me to take you to Denny's. So I just loved Denny's back then. I don't know why. They had this banana split, which is, well, okay, let's not talk about her. So here we go. So Annette says to me, she says, I have one rule. Every man on this call over 30, you need to hear this. She said, I have one rule. Some of you who've known me for a while know what that was. And to me, actually, I didn't like that because I tend to be a little bit of a free thinker. So I really didn't like rule-bound women. I don't like rule-bound men, actually. I just like people to be free thinkers. I believe in loyalty. I believe in commitment. I believe in hard work. I believe in equal opportunity because I came here with nothing. I believe in all of these things, very much so. But I don't like a lot of rules. So to me, when I wake up in the morning, a lot of people, I just see a field. And the field is wide open, and it's my job to go out there and make a path. A lot of you get up in the morning and you see a field, but you've got signposts all over it. Your destiny is here. This is preordained here. The perfect wife is there. The perfect husband is here. If you were better at this, you'd be that. You're too prideful. You're too humble. You're too lazy. You're too this. You're too that. You can't do this. You can't do that. You're not big enough to do that. You're not tall enough to do this. You don't speak enough languages to do that. You're not intelligent enough to do that. You're not articulate enough to do that. And you've got all these signs, and you're like dodging all day long like slalom in the Olympics. I don't see that. I don't see it. I get up in the morning and I look out and there's a blank field. And it's my responsibility to make a path out there that fits with what I want to fit.
What do I ask you?
So
In the morning.
Every day, the same question for the last 16 years now. The first question she asks is, here it comes, what are you going to create today? So when she said there was one rule, the one rule she said was this. I never want to hear you say, I've always done it that way. What was she saying to a 43-year-old man? If you're going to be a boring, stuck-in-the-mud Chevy guy, I don't want to date you. Because what do men say my age? I'm a Chevy guy. I'm a Ford guy. I'm a Dodgers guy. I'm a Padres guy. Right? I'm a pizza guy. I'm a burger guy. I'm a this guy. I'm a that guy. And I understand a lot of people find security in that. And so it's like, okay, I want to be with a guy in that very little narrow matchbox because I'm in a narrow matchbox. Let's put our two narrow. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. It just doesn't work for me. And it doesn't work for Annette. She didn't want to be with a guy at 45, 47, 49 when she said, I'd like to do this. And he would say, well, I've always done it this way. So we're now approaching the real estate industry. If you're approaching it saying, I've always done it this way, unfortunately, it's going to seriously impede your chances of being successful in the future. Because what we have done has gone from 80% conversion to 8% conversion. So we're all learning this together. You tolerate me week after week after week because you know that I'm trying to find these answers, and we are finding them because this didn't even exist 2 years ago. So now that's a precursor to this is what all of you, every single person on this call, if you want secure income, if you want repeat clients, if you want to handle volume so that you can have an inked business, you must do this. Are you ready? You gonna make some notes? First of all, and I'm not going to word this in Oprah language. I'm going to use the must word, a forbidden word in our culture. You must, number one, put follow-up, boss, on your home screen, just like you see right there. It must be there, and it must be on your home screen, right there. You see where it is on mine? Stick it right there. Next to follow-up, boss, I've got Lofty. Next to Lofty, I've got my website. Without those three on your home screen, you're going to be like an old person. I had a guy this week online. I said something like, somebody was complaining about Zillow, and I said, you know, Zillow is the giant, we're the ant. and Zillow provides the food. Let's stop complaining and let's do it. And this individual was very offended and said, I don't see myself as an ant. That's the whole problem. We have this inflated opinion of ourselves compared to somebody who's got 231 million visitors, of whom 98% of those are your clients. We're an ant. But the beautiful thing is that the ant is not doomed. Because collectively, as ants, we're very, very valuable to the giant. And that's why we have the Flex program. So now how do we take this as an ant and really build something big out of it? And that's what my obsession is. How can we start at the beginning just being the ant, taking Zillow leads, paying all the splits, and 2 years from now, they're all in your personal business. And this is exactly how you do it. Because 2 years from now, like the one that Michelle just put in escrow, has no Zillow referral fee, even though it was a Zillow lead, so she saved 35% off the top, because after 2 years, you don't owe the referral fee to Zillow. So the ant can also become a mini giant. Does everybody understand? So don't let's have an inflated ego perception. Let's deal in the real world. Okay? So all of us need this, and this is what you need to do every day, period. Tap on Follow Up Boss. When you tap on Follow Up Boss, at the bottom of the screen, you have the control tablature, right? So that's that little panel at the bottom, and it says, it says, here we go. At the bottom of the screen, it says inbox, activity, calendar, and people. And this is what triggered this. When you go into people, tap on any person in your database. When you tap on the person, let's take one right here, Luis Pimentel, right? So he's sitting in the pond right now. What do you see at the bottom right-hand corner of the screen? Right. So I want to encourage you, and I'm not going to force you to do this. If you've got Follow Up Boss on your cell phone, I want you to go to it right now on your cell phone. And I'm going to be a little bit of a jerk here. Even if it's on your desktop, forget your desktop right now. Because here's the problem. You're going to get so much business with us. We're about to launch again, Doug, the social media campaign that we had when we started this team that was responsible for 50% of the revenue of this team. We're about to launch it again. I'm in multiple conversations to launch it. So you're going to see another deluge of leads. So if you're here just to build some personal business, do a deal here and there, God bless you and welcome. If you're here to ink yourself, build an incorporated business where you have 2 years from now, 3, 4 VAs working for you, 2 or 3 interns working for you, then you need to hear this. This is how you build perpetuity in your business. You need to have this continued relationship. So that plus sign at the bottom is where you tap on the plus. When you tap on that plus, this is where you add what's crucial. And you're going to add what you guys are not adding, right? Which is a task. So do you see it says right at the bottom is an X, above that it says log call, above that it says task. Tap on task. Simple rule. You want perpetuity. Never leave a client. I don't care how well you know them, Felicia. Never leave a client without tapping on the plus and creating a future task. It's that simple. Tap on the plus, create a future task. You must hear me. Because this is what's going to keep you from going through that Groundhog Day of another Zillow lead, another one, they didn't show, another one. I want you to move from, listen, appointments met to appointments set. There's a difference. An appointment met is somebody that the ISAs took the call, either from the international desk or Realtor.com or Zillow, set an appointment, and you now have to meet that appointment. And you hope they're going to show up, and you use digital footprint and so on and so forth. And how many of you sometimes feel a bit powerless because that doesn't work out, right? We all feel that sometimes. And other times it's like, yeah, I got myself a deal. There's a huge difference between that appointment. You are not allowed, per Zillow, to call that appointment and say, are you really going to show? Are you going to show? Are you going to show? Are you really going to show? You're not allowed to do that. You have to show up. Then if they don't show up, you do a virtual tour, you engage with that client. You know the process. But look how enormously different that is to, let's say we just gave many of you 50 leads. You take 50 people, 30 people, 20 people. You set 20 people on a future task. You set 20 people on a property alert, and your phone starts to go off with push notifications every day. You engage with those customers, and now you set an appointment. So your business starts to be dominated by appointments set, not appointments met. Do you see the distinction? That's where I want to get you. Otherwise, you burn out. So this piece where you start to own these people, you add value to these people. You see push notifications as a sign of life. When you go into a hospital, what's the first thing they do? Right? They put a bunch of things on you and the screen's up and it shows signs of life, doesn't it? Heart rate monitor, breathing monitor, blood level monitor, does it not? You know what your sign of life is in the modern business that Zillow and companies like it control? Do you know what the sign of life is? How many push notifications you get. If you don't get any push notifications, your business is dying. It's exactly like walking into a hospital and seeing that little blip on the screen, and soon it's going to flatline. You go, Andrew, I don't agree with that. I'm not intelligent enough to convince you. If from 78% to 8% doesn't convince you, frankly, you're doomed. So your sign of life in your business is, are your PNs going off? Then comes in business management strategy. How do I control those PNs that they're in my life, but I can still live my life? How do I balance those both? And that's what we teach you here. So how do you make those PNs go off? So task is number one. Any client you meet, never leave that client without setting up the next task. So I called on 120 leads sitting on that boat in San Diego Harbor. Out of the 120 leads, guess how many of them had future tasks set by the agents? Pick a number. 11. 109 contacts. And so I started to go into it with the agents and say, why isn't there a future task? Oh, and here it came. Here it came. Oh, they weren't qualified right now. Now, to me, that's like, goody, they're not qualified. Why am I excited? Because I'm building predictable business, and I know 2 years from now they'll qualify. So if I can build strategic relationship with them for 2 years, I'm going to be the person they deal with. Even with the 8% rule, because now I'm on Zillow's game board, and I'm there on the board. Does everybody understand what I'm saying? So what's the second objection that would come up? Oh, I didn't do that, Andrew, because they're not qualified. Well, immediately you just tap on the blue piece, you tap on that, and you set a task, introduce to a financial friend. You couldn't do it right then and there. Then when you set that task in the task, you can connect it to your financial friends, and your financial friend can help you call as well. Nope, none of that. Not one agent had done that of all those calls that I made over 4 days. So change that behavior so that whatever objection you come up with, you're creating a future task. You're going to call that person every day? No. You call them in a couple of weeks, and your future task says, going through credit improvement, find out where they're at. Just that task alone, you text them in 2 weeks. It's Andy. Hey, I remembered you were rescoring your credit. How's it going? Not one task like that have I found yet in our database. Guess how many people we have in our Zillow database? 18,276. Haven't found one yet. What's the second objection that comes up? That there should be a task. Oh, Andrew, they just rushed in and rushed out of the house. Not much connection. Well, yeah, their mother was in hospital. They had to get down and see her. Yeah, well, their kid was getting out of school. They had to get to school. Yeah, they needed to go to the bathroom really bad, and they didn't want to do it in front of you. I mean, I just give you 101 things. They hadn't eaten since breakfast. We always think it's us because we're so insecure. It's got nothing to do with us. Well, it could be. You smell bad. So, right? So you show them, and there's no connection. So why wouldn't you go in and create a task? 1 week from now, reestablish contact, send something valuable. So 1 week from now, when you're doing your power hours, which we teach in the Win Team and the Power Performance Tracker, you look through all those tasks, you just tap on them, quickly send a blog, send another blog, send another blog, send another blog, which Michelle did for 2 years. By the way, it happens all the time. Do you know that 75% of all deals we close every month are 60 days old or more. 75%. And out of that 25%, there's personals. And roughly 10% of the total number of leads we come from Zillow at maximum convert in the month where they originate. So you need a sign of life that these people are interacting with you. This is the business we operate in. Whether you agree or not is irrelevant. What's relevant is we want to help you build this business. So you're going to go in here, you're going to create that task. So if the objection is, let me give you another objection. Oh, Andy, they were just looking for somebody else. Okay? All right? Was the person looking for somebody else, did they show up in a shopping cart? Well, they drove a car. Uh-huh. Okay. Were they renting or buying? I don't know. They were buying for somebody else. Why didn't you ask them if they're renting or buying? So now you create a task that says, Bob, looking for somebody else, rents, send blog. 2 weeks from now. Now you got a task. Now you're building relationship. This is what Zillow does. That's why they have 230 million visitors. All right? Now watch. So when you create those tasks, again, I want to come back to it here. You're going to see a client, you leave the client. Before you leave the client, drop in and create a task. Period. Across the board. All right. Now let me take you back to your dashboard. You see at the bottom it says people and it says calendar. Every day you're going to feel chaotic when you join the Warburton team. You're going to feel chaotic when you take our leads. Because we have so much. You manage every day, you start out your day exactly the same way. Exactly the same way. Get your coffee, get your cup of tea, you sit down, you tap on calendar. And calendar will show you and list out, look at it right here, you tap on calendar, and it lists out all the tasks that you've set. Not one customer will get forgotten. It's like the Marine Corps. What do you say? Not one man left behind, right? It's that whole idea that somebody's injured in battle. You go to them, you put them over your shoulders, you carry them, even if you get shot yourself, you put them on the helicopter in the Humvee. So you have to have the same approach with digital marketing. Don't leave anybody behind. And even if they do show up in a shopping cart, they're going to get a government grant because we live in California, and they're going to be able to get their own home in the next 2 or 3 years. Does everybody hear what I'm saying? It's a little bit tongue-in-cheek, but you get my point. If they're living somewhere, they're going to move. In California, the likelihood is within 24 to 36 months. So you're going to create a task. So whatever the reason you feel it didn't go well, create a task for the next step. You start every day by going to your calendar, checking your tasks, checking your appointments. Sorry, I should have canceled my calls coming in. Does everybody understand so far? Please don't just listen to me. Please do it. Because I'm calling on your leads, and I don't want to call a month from now and have a note in my CRM that I talked to you about this a month ago, and you only have reminders on 5% of your leads, and you tell me it's not working for you. No, you're not working for it. This is our business. When you're done with looking at your calendar, you're going to tap on activity. Oh my God, it's 11:12 already. So it's okay. You're going to tap on activity. When you tap on activity in FUB, you have 3 categories. One is new leads. One is emails. There it is. One is website. Have you connected your FUB to your website? Yes or no? Go to customer service. Follow up, boss. Say, I need to connect my website. If you're in KV Core, connect your website. If you're in Lofty, connect your website. Now, in the leads you have in FUB, they're connected to Zillow's website. Do you not think it's slightly intelligent to connect them also to your website 2 years from now? Or do you want to not do that? Have them only connected to Zillow's website. 2 years from now, when the referral fee expires, that customer taps on Zillow's website because you didn't set them up on a property alert and you got to pay the 35% again. I saw this coming 2 years ago, and now we have 1,400 people a day visiting our website. And 2 years ago, we had 2. 1,400 people a day. Why? Because I understood if I acquiesce, if I do this the old school way, yeah, just get a personal lead every now and again. Try and get 3% for them. Screw them from as much as you can. You can live at home. You don't have to work really hard. You're going to make enough money. There are people on the team who want to live that way. And it's okay. Don't screw people. It's okay to just be at home and get enough money. That's what you call a sole proprietorship. The business dies with you. I'm really into teaching people how to build a business that doesn't die when you die, that you leave to your children, like a dentist, like a doctor. You got a client base that you've monitored that come to your dental office. You want them to come to your dental office so you can sell this business. I will teach you how to do this. So look, come back here. Every day you start out, you just go right here. It's so simple. You tap on FUB, you tap on people, you tap on calendar. There's everything that you need to do. Now, because I run several corporations and so on, my calendar, I run everything from here. That's mine. So I color code everything based on responsibility and priority, and I can just look at this color code and I know what's happening this week and I know what's happening next week. You're going to have exactly the same thing within Follow Up Boss. You're going to tap on Follow Up Boss, and you're going to tap on calendar and see what's up because you took the time to add a task for each person. Then you're going to go into activity and you're going to see what's happening. And you can see, look, this is just off our website. Now, look, a lot of you go, oh, Andy, I got so confused with the leads and da-da-da-da. Literally, so now, look at this little sucker thing, $8.95. I'm not breaking the law anymore. Stick that on the screen on my Mercedes. There it is. And I can look at all my new leads and all my emails and all my websites, like this with a little $8.95 sucker. Oh, Andrew, I'm just so busy. I've got to go home and use my computer. Quit being so goddamn old. Trash that computer. This is more powerful than the computer that put astronauts on the moon. It's right here, right? You will run out of time. So you have to manage your life in real time. Okay? Now, you go in here. You look at definitely new leads. It keeps you engaged with everything new that's come into you. And you're going to tap on them, aren't you? There's Wanda. What's the first thing you're going to check? You want to find out, is she on your calendar, right? Then as you scroll down here, look where it says activity 58. You see Wanda's looked at 58 properties. Now, in this case, in Illinois and Malibu, it's because a farmer who wants a tan. So it's amazing how many people don't have a sense of humor anymore, isn't it? So I'll say it again. It was a farmer who wants a tan. Okay, so you can see exactly what they're doing right here. There's your 58 people. Look at the status right here. Some of you are leaving the status of your client in new leads. Here's all the stages. Why would you want to change the stage? I thought you said you wanted to manage a business. Can you imagine running a Subway store and you don't know the life of the cheese in the refrigerator? You start serving rotten cheese, health department's going to come and shut you down. I wish there was a health department in the real estate business. They'd shut down 80% of real estate agents and I'd make $1 million a month. Can you imagine the health department came in and said, yes, we noticed that 94% of agents never talk to somebody after they've met them the first time when they're operating internet leads. And we need to shut down all those agents because it's unhealthy for the American dream. Whoa. Instant, overnight, agents would go, I need to be healthy. It's not all about me. It's about the customer. That's a funny concept. So now what we're doing is we're realizing consumerism is taking over America, where it used to be the Industrial Revolution, then came the business revolution, you know, all those swanky people in the 80s that bought Ferraris and all that stuff, right? Like Wolf on Wall Street, all those kinds of people. And now it's a more tolerant society. It's a society that's more inclusive, and it's a society that's driven by the consumer. But we're still using behaviors that they used to use on Wolf on Wall Street. Do you really want to be known as the Wolf on Wall Street? Yeah, I can get 6% off my friends. You're the Wolf on Wall Street. Please remind me, if you're going to charge me 6%, not to make you my friend. But if you think because you're my friend, you're going to charge more than you can get in the open marketplace, you are not my friend. You're a greedy bastard. Treat me like a human, would you please? So now you're going to go into your follow-up boss, and you're going to look at your calendar. You're going to look at your tasks. You're going to tap on your activity channel, and this is where you start to interact with your clients in your activity channel. Now, what's really exciting is tap on the website link at the top right. Tap on website link. When you tap on website link, you can see all the people who are active just now. And I had three people that I talked to this weekend that said, oh yeah, it's kind of so. And I said to them, what are you going to do? Because 15 people on the win team committed to putting 2 deals in escrow this month. 15 people committed to putting 1 in escrow this month. What's the date today? 13. 18 people have put a property in escrow so far. 15 committed. 18 have put 1 in so far. 15 committed to doing 2 deals. I said, if you commit to doing the 2 deals, then you have to do what it takes to get those deals. So we all committed to a certain number of appointments. We all hold each other accountable, and it's happening right in front of our eyes. So when I went to those 3 people and looked, I said, did you know that you had a client, Bob, that looked at the website 3 minutes ago? No, I didn't. And I went to the next one. I went, did you realize that when you go into your FUB, and I went into their FUB, that an hour ago, 2 hours ago, and 3 hours ago, you had a client looking at property. Did you know that? You know what they said? No, I didn't. But you're saying business is slow. They're looking every hour. Oh, but they told me they weren't ready for 3 months. Wait a minute. They told you they weren't ready for 3 months, but they're looking at property every hour, on the hour, and some of them at 3 o'clock in the morning. They just weren't convinced that you were the person to show them property. That's all. So we went in, and I don't know why my computer just shut down, but it's okay. Went in here, and I looked at these properties with them, and I said, guys, why aren't you calling these people? Why aren't you sending a screenshot to these people? You know what the answer was? Guess what the answer was? You want to hear it? Oh, I turn my push notifications off. It disturbs me too much. Multiple agents told me they turned their push notifications off. That's like being in a hospital ward turning off the heart monitor. Don't you understand that on iPhone, all you have to do is go to your home screen, and on your home screen where it says work, you just select which status you want to be in, and if you want to put it in sleep, or you want to put it in driving, you want to put it in personal, you can create a setting, and for an hour while you're out with your girl or your guy, you can stop your push notifications. Don't turn push notifications off. Push notifications are your heart monitor. If you're setting people up on property alerts and people are looking at property, that is your heart monitor that that person's alive. And I promise you, if they're online looking at property, they're going to find somebody, and Zillow just proved it to us that 92% of the people find Zillow or Realtor.com or Homes.com, not an agent, because we turn our push notifications off. So guys, come back to this one more time. When you open up your FUB, you're going to go in and you're going to say, what are my tasks? Every new client you have, you're going to tap on task. When you tap on task, you're going to add that task. It says at the bottom, add task. At the top, you just put in the title of the task, whatever it is, right? You take off all day, you select when it's going to be, and you put at the bottom who it's assigned to, and you save it, and that task is now going to appear right here in your calendar. Every day when you get up in the morning, check your calendar, check what your feeding funnel is. I teach you how to make funnels. Again, if you're here because you want to close a deal here and there and you need a bit of extra money, it's okay. You will still learn from this. But if you want to ink a business, if you want to have a business like this, smaller or larger, then we will fill your funnel so full that you're able to bring on interns and VAs and build your own business. It's just you were never taught how to do that in the real estate business. And there's still agents, even on this team, pulling you to one side saying, you really don't need to work that hard. Just work your personal business. God damn it. We just heard from Zillow that 8% of clients return to a previous client, that 92% go to portals. And you're still listening to people saying, hey, I can get 3% from my friends. I can get 6% from my friends. I really don't have to work very hard. Just follow me, follow my lead. You can. There's no future in that. In case you haven't noticed, the internet's here to stay. What I want to share with you is use these tools that you have, build out your alerts, build out your push notifications. I want to see everybody in this room that a year from now, you get between 50 and 75 push notifications a day. How would you feel right now if you had 75 customers pinging on your phone? Would you be listening to me? So I love it you nodded, because you're smart enough to work out if you had 75 push notifications, you'd also have a VA at $6 an hour responding to all those push notifications, setting you up appointments. So when you leave after lunch, you've got 2 listing appointments. Now you're thinking like a business person, not an independent real estate agent. How many in this room are like, amen to this? I want to do this. You get where I'm going? It's a completely different pathway. There is so much more I want to teach you, and I can't now because we've been here a couple of hours. Thursday, I'm doing digital footprint. This Thursday, I'm going to focus specifically on digital footprint. I'm going to focus on how you use digital footprint so that you can build out your own inked business with this. I want to show you how can you take leads all over Southern California on this team and not show up and make money on them. Is anybody interested in that? All right, so I'm going to teach you how to do that. Because there's another thing, as I call you guys, you're like, oh, there just wasn't a lead in 92130 this week. I hear that, and it's hard for me because my mind is like way out here like this. And suddenly I'm talking to somebody whose mind is like, this cerebral constipation. You just want to push it out. And I have to be so nice. Oh, I understand. Well, I'm really saying it's fucking crazy. You understand? It's like, how can you do that when you're in America? It's so big. It's like, you want me to do it again? No. So here's the point. You can take these leads from us, the social media leads, the Zillow leads, the Realtor.com leads, the listing leads. You can use all kinds of techniques where you don't have to show up and you do the presentation over the phone. Not on Zillow leads, because you'll be cut off from Zillow. But here's the beauty. When there's Zillow leads and you've done the first appointment, somebody's dropped them and not converted them. We have 18,000 of them. 18,000 of them. When you revisit them, you're now in appointment set, not appointment met category. And so you can do visual presentations, do Zoom. I don't know why you don't do this. I don't know why you don't line them up in Chino, in Colton, in Long Beach, in Signal Hill, in Pat. Why the heck wouldn't you do that? You're beautiful. You're intelligent. You're a United States Marine. You can convince anybody on the phone. Why would you do that? Let's say you do that 5 times a week and you pay somebody $30 to show somebody that home. Cost you $150. Oh, and $150. Yeah, there's women going over to a thing at the winery is paying $200 to watch women wear fashion clothes so you can have some women's afternoon in real estate, and you won't spend $150 for 5 people to look at property where you're going to do a visual presentation when they leave, and then you're going to write it up over the phone. You're going to give them $30. How does that not make sense? So I'm going to end with that. Can we please end business constipation and build a really dynamic real estate business? Give me a round of applause. I'm going to pass it over to Annette.